Another comeback victory for the Philadelphia 76ers. This team has guts. This team has cojones. This team refuses to give up, man. They do. And there was a quote from Nick Nurse this offseason, and he said, I just want to leave the arena knowing that we gave it everything we had, and I don't feel like we did that last season. So far in 2 games, that's what we have seen. Andre Drummond revenge game. Tyrese Maxey 70-plus points in his first 2 games of the season. We got to talk about Quentin Grimes. We got to talk about Kelly Oubre. We got to talk about VJ Edgecombe. We got to talk about Joel Embiid. Get in on the Discord early so you can call the show and make your voice heard. Hit the like button. Run it.
Sixers, why won't you just lose and put me out of my misery? Why do you gotta keep doing this to me, bro? Nobody else can touch the ball right here. You touch it from the logo. Oh, we're going overtime! Tyrese Maxey is a god amongst men!
Welcome to Run It Back Philly, presented by Bright Medical Technology, Pennsylvania's largest medical supply company. This show is also brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Subscribe if you're brand new so you don't miss any post-game shows. This is the most viewed 76ers post-game show in existence. And we are 3rd on Apple Podcasts right now. So go over to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review, help us get up to number 1. We're trying to pass rights to Ricky Sanchez and PHLY. Help us do that by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. I'll read your review on the show. My first take is this. The 76ers refuse to quit this season. Another comeback victory after looking like they were dead in the water. The third quarter, the Charlotte Hornets made a 13-4 run, I believe. And the offense started to look stagnant as it had the first game, and honestly, like the last season, all season, right? Where they just start playing hot potato, passing the ball around, and it looks like they're never going to figure it out, and it looks like how are they going to buy a bucket? But in back-to-back games now, they have found a way to come back, to claw back, to you're seeing something about this team. You're seeing some kind of camaraderie that I didn't see last season. You're seeing some kind of fire that I didn't see last season. And it's a game of runs, right? And when the Hornets went on that 14-3 run in the third quarter, the chat during the live stream was going crazy saying the game's over, we're a bunch of frauds, whatever. And I said, hey, it's a game of runs, man. They made a run. Let's change up the energy. A couple things can happen where you change the momentum and we make our own run and we're right back in this game. Fourth quarter started, Sixers down 5. They rip off 5 straight to make it a 5-point game just like that. You know, and then it went back down to 10 and it went back and forth a lot. And LaMelo Ball tried to pull his best Jalen Brunson impression with the flopping at the end there. The game almost ended on a ridiculous foul call on a flop, which is just embarrassing for the NBA that these officials still can't get it right. When a guy throws his head back like he got punched by Mike Tyson, it's a flop. He didn't get touched. You should know that by now. But anyway, Sixers end up winning the game. Tyrese Maxey makes the game-winning play. Top of the key, draws a double. Defense leaves Grimes wide open. Maxey makes the pass. Grimes knocks it down. In a 119-119 game, he knocks down the 3 to put the Sixers up by 3. And it was just another game where they clawed their way back. A really interesting thing about it is that Joel Embiid went to the bench in that third quarter. And I did not know that Joel Embiid was on a 20 minutes restriction strictly, right? I didn't know that. So I think it's a little bit odd that the 76ers are structuring his minutes to not give him any time in the fourth. And I'm going to have a lot of Joel Embiid takes in this show also because I had a whole show last night talking about Joel Embiid, and he impressed me in this one. There's still a long way to go, but I didn't expect to see what I saw tonight from him just after what he looked like against the Celtics. But Joel goes to the bench in the third, And it felt like classic 76ers. You know that feeling. You felt it in your gut. Oh no, Joel Embiid went to the bench, and suddenly we look like we have no offensive identity. And suddenly we look like we can't generate any offense whatsoever. The wildest thing about this comeback was the two players that are really responsible for it are two players that the 76ers tried to trade this offseason and couldn't trade because their player options are too much money based on what the rest of the NBA feels like they're worth. Kelly Oubre and Andre Drummond. When the 76ers were in those situations where it felt like they couldn't generate offense, the one guy, and I know I said VJ Edgecombe's confidence reminds me of Kelly Oubre's confidence because it does, at least in game one, but VJ Edgecombe is a 20-year-old rookie, and we're if you're relying on a 20-year-old rookie to save you, you're shit out of luck. You know what I mean? You're up shit's creek without a paddle. You're in a sneezing contest with no tissues. I don't know why I just said that, but Kelly Oubre is that. That's why I always use him as that level of confidence, because it's insane confidence. You know what I mean? It's unrealistic confidence. Kelly Oubre is that guy his whole life that people were like, you can't do that. And he was like, watch me. And they were like, no, don't do it. And he was like, watch me. And you just see it in the fourth quarter. Kelly Oubre. And I remember there was like Grimes was on the floor. Maxey was on the floor. I think VJ was still out there. And once again, just like game one, actually, shout out to Kelly Oubre again, because he hit the corner three in game one that essentially won the game. Maxey, VJ, and Grimes on the floor. Kelly Oubre takes the rock again and goes right at Bridges, I think, in the paint for a floater to cut it to 2 or 1. I don't know, but either way, just Kelly Oubre's motor and his level of confidence, and 2 games in a row now, Kelly Oubre saved the day. And the thing about Kelly Oubre is, he didn't save the day specifically, like Grimes hit the 3 to go ahead, but Kelly Oubre, I feel like, was responsible for that energy change when we were totally, we looked like we didn't have a clue. We looked like we didn't have a plan on how we were going to scrape back and generate some offense. Kelly Oubre was responsible for the momentum switch, because he just refuses to give up, and he's just ridiculously confident. I was going to say something else about Kelly Oubre. Yeah, I don't remember. But anyway, not just Kelly Oubre. Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond. I did a whole show last night talking about if Joel Embiid can't play in the fourth, who's going to play center? You know? Because they went no center against the Boston Celtics. It ended up working, but it's not going to work against other NBA teams. And the Charlotte Hornets, Kalkbrenner's like 7'12". It's not going to work. And you got Miles Bridges crashing the glass and all these guys, you need a center out there. And Nurse doesn't go at Dem Bona. Bona got him 2 fouls in the first quarter. But something about the way that Bona is doing things that Nick Nurse doesn't trust. So Nick Nurse, being who he is, goes with the vet. Goes with Andre Drummond, who looked terrible all last season. Who looked terrible in his 3 minutes against the Celtics. And I was just saying last night, I don't think you can put Andre Drummond out there. He looks totally unplayable. Andre Drummond revenge game. Let me tell you a stat that you guys might not know. Andre Drummond in this game had 13 rebounds in 15 minutes. The 76ers have not been able to rebound the basketball for years. Years. I haven't seen them get a rebound for 20 years. Andre Drummond just had 13 rebounds in 15 minutes. He had a blocked shot down there. Drummond was guarding the rim even before last season, 2 seasons ago. or when we first traded back for him, when we first signed him back. I don't remember. But Andre Drummond was never really, I never knew him as a paint defender. And maybe it's the fact that nobody on the 76ers team technically can guard the rim. Andre Drummond was out there guarding the rim, blocking shots, pulling down boards left and right, 13 rebounds in 15 minutes. And then what? In a 1-point game, Tyrese Maxey drives off the front of the rim, dunked back in by Andre Drummond. I tweeted Andre Drummond this offseason, and I didn't know he was going to respond, because if I was an NBA player, I wouldn't respond to random people on Twitter. I told him he looks kind of washed. He responded and said, "Damn, that's how it is. No love from Philly. I was injured the whole season. Watch how I come back." That's what he said to me. He said, "Watch how I come back." And I was like, yeah, okay. And then in the press conference, media day, he's talking about he did toe yoga this offseason. And I was like, come on, man. Andre Drummond's cooked. Every single, and you guys can't even, I know you can pull stuff with me on a lot of players. You can't pull that with me on Andre Drummond. Every single one of you Sixers fans said Andre Drummond was cooked. Andre Drummond looked like prime Andre Drummond in this game. And he and Kelly Oubre are very much responsible for this comeback victory. Tyrese Maxey. What did Maxey have in this game? He ended up with 28 in this game. He had 40 in the game against the Celtics. He ended up with 28 in this game. And the third quarter was not good. The third quarter really wasn't good for anybody. The Sixers got outscored, I believe, 38-25 in the third quarter. But Tyrese Maxey refused to quit. The shot wasn't falling. What did he shoot? 7 for 20. The shot wasn't falling. But he refused to quit. He just kept fighting. He just kept attacking. And in the fourth quarter, Tyrese Maxey attacked the rim 3 or 4 times and drew fouls that ended up being a large reason the 76ers came back in this game. So when the shot's not falling, Tyrese Maxey didn't shy away from the moment, right? Because he knows now, if I don't save this team in this game, if I don't save this game right now, we're going to lose because I'm the guy now. I'm the guy now. And he had some nice passes in this game. He had some nice assists to VJ on some backdoor cuts. He had some really point guard style plays in this game. He took over he took control in the fourth quarter, drew a lot of fouls, got to the foul line a bunch, and then the game-winning play, which is top of the key. Maxey could have shot that shot. And maybe even last year, Maxey probably would have shot that shot over a double team. But savvy Maxey now. Reading the defense, Tyrese Maxey now. He sees the help come. He immediately makes the skip pass to Grimes. Wide open 3 in a tie game. Under a minute. Sixers up. Game over. And shout out to Andre Drummond for making that free throw to make it a 4-point game with under 10 seconds to go, I believe. VJ Edgecombe looked like a rookie in this game. And like I said, he's not going to average 30 points a game as a rookie. He did look insanely confident against the Celtics, and he just didn't look that confident tonight, and that's a 20-year-old rookie. So that's what's going to happen for a while. But VJ's athleticism, his hustle, his defense, VJ Edgecombe's defense is pretty much elite right off the rip. His size, his athleticism, the way he can stay in front of a player. And he played great defense in this game also. And just fighting for loose balls and diving on the floor and jump balls here and everything. So shout out to VJ because he's going to have games like this, especially as a rookie. But he filled in the blanks with just his sheer hustle and heart, And Quentin Grimes off the bench. Quentin Grimes had 24 off the bench and a game winner. the game winner. The shot to put the Sixers up to win the game. Quentin Grimes. And shout out to Quentin Grimes because in the Celtics game, it looked like, it's going to take some time to build some chemistry, right? And Grimes doesn't look totally comfortable right now. And it's going to take some time for him to feel out the game. It didn't take him too long. He came in this game and he seems like he's gelling perfectly, right? He knows how to get to his spots. He knows how to get his shots when he wants them, but nothing feels forced. You know what I mean? Whereas it doesn't feel like Grimes is taking possessions away from Tyrese or anyone else because he's also a really good facilitator and ball sharer. So it just works well. I thought Grimes just gelled perfectly, fit in right where he needed to fit in, and was that spark off the bench. And that's what you have with Quentin Grimes, man. You saw what he did last season. His scoring ability is there. He dropped 46 against the Houston Rockets last year, who were the number one defense in the league at the time. His scoring ability is there. Having him off the bench is huge. And when the Sixers get Jared McCain back, massive. Now they won 2 games in a row in comeback style with Joel Embiid on the bench. And in the game against the Celtics, it looked like Joel should be on the bench, right? This game, Joel was actually having a pretty good game, but he's on a minutes restriction. I don't think there's any year in Joel Embiid's career the Sixers would have won both of these games without him. We are turning a corner. The Sixers are no longer relying on Joel Embiid to save them every single night. We finally have a team full of guys who can scratch and claw and get it done. And now, you know what everybody was saying last year? Let Joel take his time, right? Let's bring him along slowly and get him ready for the playoffs. We couldn't do that last year because the roster didn't make any sense. This roster is looking like they can do that. They can bring Joel along slowly and they can save him for the playoffs. I have a lot more to say. I want to take the Discord callers. There's 2 people waiting on the Discord right now. Did I forget to put the Discord in the chat? Let me put the Discord in the chat real quick. I think I forgot to put the Discord in the chat. Let me put the Discord link in the chat. Come on, Discord. Where are you? It's purple, right? There it is. Let me put the Discord link in the chat. Invite. All right, let me do it this way because I don't know how to do it on... I should have a mod, huh? I should have a mod putting the Discord in the chat. Invite people. There we go. And we got to do this. Never expire. Copy link. I see a super chat. Shout out to that. I'll get to that in a minute. Discord link. Chat. And then I just got to pin it. All right. Thank you for your patience here. I want to get to you guys on the Discord. I want to read the super chats. And then we're going to go over to Twitter and read some, Sixers reporters' tweets and things like that and hang out and have a conversation. Pinning Discord link at the top of the chat. So click that link, hop into Discord if you want to call the show. This show is brought to you by Bright Medical Technology. See, the 76ers are hoping to get Joel Embiid up to speed after a lackluster game 1, where he looked gassed by the second half, leaving Sixers fans frustrated. If when the time comes you are having trouble getting up to speed, having a lackluster second half and leaving her frustrated, Bright Medical has you covered. Bright Medical offers generic Viagra, Sildenafil, and Cialis Tadalafil, 30 tablets for $40, delivered to your door, no cost shipping. This is the lowest cost in the area. All you need to do is call 215-725-MEDS. That's 215-725-6337. When you call, mention Run It Back Philly, you'll get 10% off your first month's supply. I'm giving you a discount on that. Think about that for a second. I'm helping you in so many ways. Bright Medical is Pennsylvania's largest medical supply company with products and solutions for patients from all ages, infants to seniors. Family-owned business right in the heart of Philadelphia, PA, and they are fans of this show. Bright Medical takes all calls in-house, no automated call system, speaks 9 languages. The Sixers might get back to performing this season, or they might not. They are so far. You also can get back to performing by calling Bright Medical. Thank you to Bright Medical for sponsoring the channel. Mufasa Sports Club with the Super Chat. What's good, man? Yo, give me a second. I'm sweating. Hold on. Mufasa Sports Club with the Super Chat. Just got back from the game. Electric atmosphere. Mufasa was at the game. Philly basketball is back. Strength in numbers will be our motto this season. Can't wait to get Paul George, McCain, and Watford back as well. Go Sixers. Yo, thank you so much for the Super Chat. Mufasa and Za, my man, is back in Sicko Nation. Shout out to all the members. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel, my man, Za. Where did I want to go next? I had another take before I want to get to the Discord. Joel Embiid. After game 1, Joel Embiid, he just looked like he could. I can't figure it out. Right? Because how do you look that much different the next game? Joel had 24 assists, 2 steals in 20 minutes. 20 points in 20 minutes for Joel Embiid. That's what I was saying the other night remember when a bad Joel Embiid game was 20 points? Remember when Joel would have an off night and would have 27 and 10? He's already getting back to that a little bit, right? The game against the Celtics, not only did he look like he couldn't jump, he looked a little bit disinterested, you know? And I said that in that stream last night. I was like, I don't know if it's really even physical. I think it's more mental at this point, right? Because in that game, he just wasn't attacking. He wasn't really doing much of anything. And 2 days later, he looks completely different. And he's attacking the rim. And like right off the tip, he was going right at Kalkbrenner, you know? And maybe it's the fact that Kalkbrenner is a rookie. But I mean, with the Celtics, who was he playing against? Xavier Tillman? Neemias Queta? Those guys are physical. But Kalkbrenner's a big guy. But Joel Embiid, you know, after game 1, I think he was like, DJ Eastwood's right. I wasn't trying to do anything. I was playing soft. And in this game, he went right at Kalkbrenner right from the jump. And I just couldn't believe how much more physical he looked attacking versus what he looked like against the Celtics the other night. And so all the questions that I had, like, is Joel Embiid too slow now at this point of his career to run with these guys and play this fast pace they want to play and play defense and guard the rim? Because that's what it looked like in that game. Tonight, he's attacking offensively. He's running the floor. But I think most importantly, outside of the scoring, was Joel Embiid playing defense. Now, there was still possessions where he kind of took the possession off, right? But defensively for Joel Embiid, this game was a night and day difference. Son of a motherfucker, dude. One day, man. One day. One day we're going to get it done, man. I've tried everything there is to try. I've tried everything there is to try, man. One day, man. I've tried everything there is to try. I still got the camera freeze. Anyway, Joel Embiid in this game defensively was night and day different than he was against the Boston Celtics. There's a specific play against Kalkbrenner as he attacks rim. Maybe it wasn't Kalkbrenner, it was Miles Bridges. Those guys aren't similar whatsoever. I don't know how I made that confusion. But he went straight up in the paint, right? As Miles Bridges attacked the rim. That's the first time I saw Joel Embiid jump and defend the rim like that in years, I think. And so that makes me very happy that the not just Joel Embiid offensively in this game, the fact that he was playing high-level defense. Because if the Sixers are going to play him in the fourth quarter, down the stretch of the season after his minutes restriction is up, we're going to need him to be able to play some defense. And so what he did defensively in this game gave me some hope. I think I just wanted to say that. LaMelo, the flop in the fourth quarter. Absolutely disgusting. And what was it, like a 1.2-point game? I mean, just all the tension of an NBA game, a close game, the crowd, everything. And LaMelo puts his arm on Maxey, throws his head back, throws the ball up in the air, and they call a foul. And it just bothers me so much. And the Sixers ended up winning the game, but it bothers me so much that NBA officials can't get this right. You almost ruined such a fun game by calling a foul on a very obvious flop. Everybody in the building could see that was a flop when it happened. Everybody except for the official for some reason. I don't know. What are your guys' takes in the chat, man? Then we're going to get to the Discord. There's 4 people in the Discord right now. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for waiting. Biggest issue is Joel, 2 rebounds in 20 minutes. Bona, 0 rebounds in 12 minutes. That means 2 rebounds in 30. It's true. And that's pretty much the reason Nick Nurse put Andre Drummond out there in the fourth quarter, because nobody could rebound. Now, Joel, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's coming along slowly, right? That's what we're going to say, right? We're going to say Joel's coming along slowly. We're easing him into it. He's playing into game shape, all that type of stuff. So I have to give Joel the benefit of the doubt. I'm happy with the defense that he played in this game. I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Should he have more than 2 rebounds in 20 minutes as a 7-footer? Yes, he should. But I have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, I also wanted to say this. Joel, outside of the defense, he landed on the knee again, right? Not the play where he looked like he might have got hurt. That one was scary. But I'm talking about a drive on the right side where he did the Euro in traffic in between a double team. All of his weight on the left knee. This is what I saw in the preseason game that I thought was a good sign. Because you haven't seen Joel Embiid be able to put all of his weight on that left knee for years. And he did it in the preseason, and he survived it. And I just saw him do it in this game again, where he Euros through 2 defenders, all of his weight on the left knee, and 1 finish. That gives me a lot of hope for Joel Embiid, because it tells me that his knee is healed. And now that I've seen him do that a couple times, I think my conclusion is that Joel Embiid is healthy. Finally. He's just out of shape. And he needs to, you guys were right. You guys that were telling me last night, you're overreacting, you're jumping the gun. He needs to play back into shape. You're absolutely right. You got it. I think Joel Embiid is healthy, and he needs to play back into shape. I think that's what it is. One more take in the chat before we go to the Discord. To be fair, Joel Embiid has never been a huge rebounding machine, so I'm not surprised he doesn't have the lift to grab boards, and we just have to live with that, but we do need Barlow and Barker in the game for rebounds. Yeah, do you think at some point, and this is crazy, But you're absolutely right. Joel's never been a rebounder. He's never been a fundamental rebounder. He used to have the size and just sheer dominance to rebound, right? He's just bigger than everybody. He's going to grab the board, so he would finish a game with 12 rebounds without really putting in the effort to box out and fight for a board, right? So if Adem Bona also can't rebound, I know Adem Bona is a freak athlete. He can block shots. If Adem Bona also isn't a good rebounder, and you had to put Andre Drummond in there to save the game with his rebounding, shout out to him again. Do you eventually get crazy and play a Joel Embiid, Andre Drummond lineup? I'm just saying. But yeah, Dominic Barlow, he hurt his arm. I didn't see what happened to him, but he hurt his arm. So he was rebounding great against the Boston Celtics, and he went out of this game. So hopefully we get an update on him soon. I love his rebounding ability. Jabari Walker can rebound also. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. We're going to get to the Discord. Then we're going to go read the Sixers reporters' tweets on Twitter and react to it. A new segment that I'm putting at the end of the show. Before we get to the Discord, this episode of Run It Back Philly is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. If you're in Pennsylvania and you're new to DraftKings, here's the deal. Use my promo code RUNITBACK when you sign up. Deposit $5. Get a $5 wager. And if that first wager wins, DraftKings will give you up to $300 in bonus bets. On top of that, you'll also get 3 months of NBA League Pass for free. So here's how you do it. Go to DraftKings.com or the DraftKings app. Make sure you're in PA. Enter the code RUNITBACK. Verify your age. You must be 21 years old in PA. Deposit at least $5. Place that first bet on anything you like. And if that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets and 3 free months of NBA League Pass. Terms apply. Bonus bets don't count as cash. They come in tokens. They expire. And this offer is only for new users in legal licensed states, including Pennsylvania. If you want to jump in, sign up tonight with code RUNITBACK. Make your move, and let's ride. And, of course, bet responsibly. If gambling is a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Big thanks to DraftKings for supporting the show. Now let's get to the Sicko Sound Off Hotline. We got a couple super chats. Tez29, Justin Edwards came in and hit 3 big threes. Thank you for that. I forgot to talk about Justin Edwards because he didn't get any minutes against the Celtics. He looked terrible in the summer league and in the preseason. And Nick Nurse had the guts to put him in this game. And Justin Edwards hit 3 massive threes. And he also, in that third quarter, I think it was the third quarter or the beginning of the fourth when he hit those threes, when the Sixers were struggling to generate any type of offense, Justin Edwards was that guy. He was one of those guys. Him, Kelly Oubre, they were all part of it. But yeah, shout out to Justin Edwards for getting it done. Great Boggins, thank you for the super chat. You didn't leave a comment there. I'll look for your name in the chat if you were trying to type a comment, but thank you for the super chat anyway. Let's get to the Discord, man. Who we got in the Discord? We got Ethan in the Discord. Yo, Ethan.
40 fucking dollars.
Give it the Wegman $10.
Yo, Ethan. Yo, Ethan. Yo, Ethan.
What does that mean again?
Ethan.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
What's going on, man?
Hey, I just want to say, listen. I know that the meta right now, because of the way that the Sixers are going, the meta is to hate on them and say they're never going to win another game. But personally, I have never seen ball movement from this team in the last 3 seasons that looked any type of coherent. There was no unified front, and we came back from a tough game that I think the last 3 seasons of this team would have lost, and we won it.
Oh, facts.
And that's enough to excite me. That's all I gotta say.
Big facts, Ethan. What did you mean what did you mean the meta is to say they're never going to win another game? What do you mean by that?
Well, I just mean I think the way that the way that, well, I guess it's kind of swung back to where they lost enough games in a row, and the last season was so tough that people are ready to be on the hope train again. But I feel like there's just this vibe where everyone wants to say they want to talk about Embiid and they want to talk about
He's old.
Right.
Weak joints.
They said that he has weak joints and that he's too old. But I think there's hope. I think there's good bones in this team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm just excited. That's all I got to say.
No, I agree with you, man. And thank you so much for the call, Ethan. I appreciate it. Yeah, I agree. And there's two things there, man. You're right. You know, when I go outside and I talk to other people about the 76ers, I was the leader of the negative. This team sucks forever. Josh Harris needs to sell the team and all that this entire offseason because of how last season went. You know what I mean? But right now, yeah, this youth movement looks very promising, and it's so exciting to watch because of how frustrating it was to watch that season last season. And so if there's still people right now, that's my thing, Ethan, and thank you for saying that. If there's still people right now that watch these two games and do this, and they're probably in my comments and stuff too. If there's people right now that watch these two games and say things like, "Oh, they're still going to lose in the second round. Oh, Embiid's still going to get hurt. Just wait. He'll get hurt in the third. They're never going to do anything." Then what's the point of watching sports? You know what I mean? That's the thing. I get very negative when I react to things that are very negative, right? But if you're seeing positive things and you're seeing something that's fun to watch and hopeful, and you're still choosing to be negative, then what's the point of watching sports? You know what I mean? So I agree with you, Ethan. There's still people out there saying it, but they just wake up angry. They're not just mad at sports. They're mad at everything. Because this is fun to watch. This is a fun team. This is a young team. They got athleticism. They share the ball. They got shooters. They got guys that can handle the rock and get to the rim. They still got Jared McCain coming back. They still got Paul George coming back, knock on wood. Joel Embiid's ramping up, but he's actually ramping up now. Like, there's no reason to not be excited about this team right now. And I think, Ethan, the people you're talking about haven't watched a game yet. I think they haven't watched these two games. I think that's the real answer to that. You know what I'm saying? We got Cam Cabe on the Discord. Cam.
Answer to that. Saying,
Yo, Cam, what's going on? Yo, Cam.
Yo, what's going on?
Cam, what's
You hear
up,
me?
man? Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to say, one, I love your show.
Hey,
You're
thanks,
always
man.
right. Always right.
Now, hey, only time I've been wrong is when?
Literally never.
That one time that I thought I was wrong. That's the only time I was wrong.
You were wrong
What's up, man?
when you thought to put your money on McCain last year and he ended up getting hurt because of your bet. But
Oh,
other
you
than
remember that. Yeah. Yeah, that was
you
bad.
know,
Yeah, that was bad.
no, but I'm so happy to see Kelly Oubre doing as good as he's doing because I love him. I love his attitude. I love how he'll be having a shitty game and still dunk on you and flex. I think he's really good for Philly. I did not want them to trade or get rid of him at the end of the season last year or on the offseason. So I'm glad he's here. I'm glad that he's doing good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm hopeful.
Yeah,
I can't
man.
believe
Dude.
Embiid's playing.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up because that's something I wanted to say, and I think I forgot to say it, man, because Kelly Oubre is one of those players, right, that he's a utility guy, right? And he's just a high-energy, physical player. He's never going to shoot 40% from three. He's never going to be in all-star conversations or anything like that, right? But he does have skill, and he definitely has heart and a high motor, right? And
Yeah.
I think when Kelly Oubre gets put in a situation where none of the stars are out there, like the end of last season, right, with him and Caleb Martin, all of a sudden Kelly Oubre and Caleb Martin have to try to generate offense. I think then he gets exposed, and it's not really fair to him, you know? He gets exposed because he's being put in a situation where he's expected to do stuff that he shouldn't be expected to do. And now I think you're seeing the teams getting back. The guys that are supposed to be handling the ball are handling the ball, and Kelly Oubre can get back to doing just what he's good at, which is fill in the blanks, hustle, and just do shit. And now he looks like this in 2 games, you know? And yeah, I'm happy for him. And, you know, I hope this continues.
What's going on with Kyle Lowry? Is he out hurt?
Wait. Why'd you say that?
Because
Why'd you say that?
Because I forgot he was even on the team still.
Yeah, we don't want him to play.
No, absolutely not.
No,
but
I don't
is there
know.
a possibility that he will play again?
I honestly, man, and I've seen crazy things from coaches in the NBA, and I think I saw crazy things from Nick Nurse last year. But I honestly even think that everybody's probably on the same page at this point that, like, unless everybody gets hurt and we're tanking again, Kyle Lowry's just there as a veteran mentor and basically a player coach, I think.
Coach Lowry.
But if Nurse puts him in a game pretty soon, it wouldn't totally shock me because he loves him. But yeah. Yeah, man. No, I don't think Kyle Lowry even plans on playing this year. He doesn't look like he plans on playing. He gained like 20 pounds in 6 months.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yo, thank you so much for calling the show, man.
All right, man. Thanks. Bye.
Shout out to Cam Cabe on the Discord. Yeah, man. No. Please don't put Kyle Lowry on the floor. Nobody wants to see that. What are the kids? Ain't nobody got time for that. I guess the kids don't say that anymore. That was like 20 years ago. I want to get my list of Sixers reporters up here on Twitter so I can pull that up. This is new. I'm a unk. They call me unk, you know, and I'm a unk. So I just figured out recently that I could make lists on Twitter, and so that I could go onto Twitter and read things without seeing all of the clutter and the nonsense. So I learned that recently, and now where did my chat go? Come on. There we go. Yeah. Who else is on the Discord? We're going to take one more Discord call here. We'll take 2 more, man. We got 2 more people in the Discord. Lee Loda, and then Carson, I see you in there too, man. Lee Loda, did I say that right?
Ledge.
Lay Loda?
Ledge, like on a ledge.
Oh, my bad. Ledge Loda.
That's all right. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. What's up?
I had a few things to point out. One is I'm very happy with the youth movement that the Sixers are showcasing right now. But my biggest fear, well, actually, I think what we're seeing is that there's no more politics inside the lineup. So, like last year, you would see like Tobias Harris with the politics as far as like Lowry getting in and things of that nature. Like the veterans had to get a certain amount of minutes. But now with them being gone, the freedom to be able to perform is definitely showcasing in this lineup that they're putting out there.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I mean, I think you'll see a little bit of that when Paul George comes back, probably. I think, because the Tobias Harris thing always really had to do with how much money he was being paid, right? But at the same time,
right,
you would see high-paid players get benched on other teams like if they weren't doing anything. But he was always out there in the finishing lineup, and you're right, that was pretty political. And yeah, Nick Nurse playing Kyle Lowry over Jared McCain in some of those games was political. And maybe they all had a discussion and Daryl and everybody, and they were like, listen, we can't do what we did last year. And part of it, Nick, was you playing your favorite players over who probably should have been on the floor. Maybe that was a conversation because, I feel
I
you
agree.
on
Also, sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
I also wanted to say Embiid's best way of fitting into this office is working on one of his his worst weaknesses, which is his catch and shoot. Usually when Embiid catches the ball, he never ever shoots as soon as he catches it. He's always doing a hezzy ISO or he's observing the floor. He can fit very well much in this offense much quicker if he works on just simply catching and shooting.
That's facts. Yeah, he's what they call a ball stopper, right? He
stops the ball, correct. He observes as soon as he catches the ball instead of just working off instinct and shooting the ball. And then my last thing is, I believe the number one reason why Bona's starting to lose, Nurse is starting to lose faith in Bona is because he actually has horrible hands. he has really bad hands.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of time. Go ahead.
He had a couple turnovers in this one, a couple like just drop the ball under the rim and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, things of that nature. Where last game, Grimes found him on a nice kick out where he could have caught the ball and finish it with a dunk and all that, and he'll just lose the ball a lot of times on real easy catches. And so Coach Nurse doesn't have a high tolerance for that stuff. But I think
True.
that's why he's losing minutes, because of his hands and lack of awareness.
True. Can't argue with that, man. And I would love to see him get it together because his athleticism is crazy and his shot blocking ability is wild. But he is a second-year player who came out of the second round, so maybe in 3, 4, 5 years from now, Dembona is something. Paul Reed last night had a game-winning layup and a game-winning block on the other end. Sometimes like we get on these guys so early in their career and then they develop, 6 years later.
Well, there'll be certain games where he stands out. Like for today, Drummond stood out very well, and I believe Drummond stood out because Hornets isn't a very physical team, and Drummond dominates when it becomes physical as far as rebounding. But like games against the Bucks, that's when I believe Bona would show out, because that's where he got his big welcome to the NBA time moment when he was going against Giannis, and he was showcasing that he can hang with Giannis as far as defending. He was the best defender that we had last year against Giannis.
He was, man. That's facts. Yo, man.
So
thank you so much for calling the show.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Discord callers, man. You guys are always awesome, and you always bring up great points, especially like when it's a point that I didn't make. I just appreciate so much you guys contributing to the show and keeping the conversation going. Great point about politics. It seemed so political last year with the guys that were on the floor, and we were like, why isn't he playing Justin Edwards? Why isn't he playing this guy? Why is he playing all these slow guys? And this year you see Nick Nurse is just, I'm going to use my guys, and we're going to try to play fast, and we're going to be young, and we're going to, so it does look different in that regard also. Carson on the Discord. Carson, what's going on?
Yeah, hello.
What's up, Carson?
I just got a couple things to say. I know I called in last week, right?
Yeah.
Last. So my Nick Nurse has totally changed because I think the last guy was right. The politics have changed. Like Nick Nurse, I finally feel like he's trying to get his team together. I like that he put Drummond out there. At first, me and my friend were down here watching the game today in my basement. We're like, "Oh God, here comes Drummond."
Yeah.
We thought he was gonna look like him. He didn't. I'm glad he's looking good. And I have a hot take. I don't know if you're gonna agree with this, but would it be crazy to say we put Drummond in the starting lineup over Embiid and save Embiid for the fourth quarter for points?
I mean, I understand what you're saying because you want to be able to play Embiid in the fourth, right? Especially, I mean, I thought Embiid was playing some pretty good defense in this game, at least compared to the first game. I still liked Andre Drummond's defense better than Joel's. I liked Andre Drummond's rebounding way better than Joel's. And, I think they're just trying to bring him along slowly, and I think probably the best way is to just get him going early in a game and then, just rely on the fact that you have those guys to finish off the fourth quarter. I honestly, at this point, the Sixers were better against the Celtics with no center in the fourth, and they were better tonight with Andre Drummond at center defensively and rebounding the ball than they were with Joel out there. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe they could if you want to stagger his 20 minutes, but we'll see what they do, man.
I think we could go no center against the Magic because they don't have like a predominant center there.
Yeah.
I think it's just a really mix around in Orlando. And I have a funny story real quick. So I was down here playing video games earlier, and my dad came down just to talk to me. He's not like a big NBA guy, but like we're from Connecticut. He's huge on UConn. Like he's a huge UConn fan since like since he was born. And he was talking about he thinks Drummond's one of the best rebounders of all time. I was like, come on, dude, Jesus. I watched him play last game. He's not a big NBA fan either, my dad. He's a fan of the Celtics, but he's not like a huge fan. I was like, oh, God, what are you talking about, dude? That guy cannot play for his life. And he comes out here today, and I just don't want to bring it up to my dad tomorrow because we watch football together every Sunday, dude. I don't want to bring up that Drummond had a great game.
No, I'm finding your dad's Twitter. I'm telling him myself. Andre Drummond had 13 rebounds in 15 minutes, and now you need to roast Carson for 2 straight weeks. Yo, man, thanks for calling the show, Carson. I appreciate it. Shout out to Carson on the Discord. Yeah, and that's the thing is, Andre Drummond he does have the highest rebounding tendency in NBA history, by the way. So at least according to an advanced rebounding statistic, Andre Drummond is up there. and he's one of the best rebounders ever. He calls himself the best ever, but Carson, I don't know how old you are, but the beginning of Andre Drummond's career, he was an absolute menace on the boards. And even when the Sixers had him the first time, before they traded him to the Nets in the Ben Simmons trade, he was an amazing rebounder, and that was only like 3 years ago. And he's only 29 years old, I believe. So maybe Andre Drummond just was injured last year, and maybe he got it back. Thank you guys for calling in on the Discord, man. If you didn't get in, try again next show. I gotta keep it moving. We only got a couple minutes left, and I want to get over here to some of the reports on Twitter before we get out of here. That's the Discord. That's the wrong thing. I'll get it together someday, guys. I'll fire my producer and get the show together someday. Nick Nurse gets his 300th season win with this game. The Philadelphia 76ers post that Nick Nurse, tonight's victory was Nick Nurse's 300th career victory. Paul Hudrick says the Sixers did not win their second game last season until November 10th. An overtime win over the Hornets. That was the one where LaMelo hit the fadeaway in the corner at the buzzer to send it to overtime when I was screaming, don't let him shoot, and they let him shoot it. You guys remember that one? The Sixers didn't win their second game last season until November 10th. They started 24-25, 2-12. They start 25-26, 2-0. And the thing is, it's the roster. It's shout out to Daryl Morey and shout out to the, drafting VJ Edgecombe and, the Barlow signing, right? And the Jabari Walker signing and Andre Drummond doing toe yoga in the summer, right? And Kelly Oubre not getting hit by a car yet. Knock on wood, right? Because Kelly Oubre was great 2 years ago, and then he got hit by a car. You guys remember that? So Andre Drummond toe yoga. Kelly Oubre didn't get hit by a car. Jabari Walker signing. Dominic Barlow signing. Maxey year 6. Quentin Grimes trade. VJ Edgecombe draft. The point I'm trying to make, I think, is that they're playing without Embiid and Paul George right now, just like they were last season. And Joel had 20 in this game. But when it comes down to it, the game is, they're down by 10, and Joel's not going to come back in the game. So that's why I said they're playing without Joel. I mean, they fought back and won this game without Joel Embiid is what I mean. So essentially, they don't have those guys just like they did in last season. And they're winning games because the roster is that much different than it was last season. They were playing Eric Gordon and Kyle Lowry and Reggie Jackson. Nick Nurse was putting 3 40-year-olds on the floor, dude. And you guys said that my crash outs were epic, right? And some people were like, your crash outs this season are better than they were the Ben Simmons year in 2020 or whatever. It's because I couldn't believe what the hell I was watching. Why would you, in your right mind, have 3 38-year-old guys out there getting ran off the floor by 21-year-olds? There's a reason there's a 40 and over league at your local rec. They can't play with the 20-year-olds. So the last year was just insane. It didn't make any sense. And 2 games in, we still don't have Joel back 100%. We still don't have Paul George, but we look so much better because of youth, speed, and athleticism. That's what I wanted to say. Nick Nurse comments on Quentin Grimes. Let's hear this, man. Let's hear this. Oh, I got mixed minus on. My bad. Thank you guys for rocking with me, man. I've been, just trying some different formats for this show. So hopefully it flowed a little bit and it didn't feel like super all over the place.
Obviously, Quentin hopped off the bench and had a huge night for you. How important is it to have a guy like him for your second unit just to provide that jolt of scoring a little bit?
Yeah, I mean it's ideal if you can continue to do that. I mean I think I see him as try to get him kind of starter minutes off the bench. Right? I don't know what he ended up with tonight. 30 is still a little low. It's really hard when you don't start a guy to get him into that 35 to 40 range. It just is. It just seems like it's too quick a sub all the time if you're going to bring him in 3 or 4 minutes into the quarter. But we'll keep looking around at some stuff. And again, I thought the group without him there went, kind of turned the game, but I knew he was kind of like he was playing well, and I knew he had to get back in there at some point. But it was Justin hit some huge shots, while he was in there, and I just kind of thought it was time to get back to Q, and we kind of got everything we could get out of Justin. I think both ends. Justin went in there and played some great defense on top of stepping into some threes. So.
Shout out to Nick Nurse so far this season, man. I hated this guy last year. And so many people were like, dude, what's he supposed to do with this roster? I'm like, probably not play 3 fat 40-year-olds. Dude, it's not that hard. I'd rather play some G Leaguers than those dudes, So people that think it wasn't fair because of the roster, I think it was fair. He was doing dumbass shit all season last season. Shout out to him so far this season, man. Sixers Adam says, I asked Joel Embiid a few questions about the way his 20 minutes are being allotted. He said he prefers tonight's model, more minutes earlier than 4 short stints like in Boston, but that he doesn't want to have a restriction at all. We'll post full audio or video later. So Joel's ready to have no restriction. And against Boston, it looked like with a restriction or not, it doesn't look like he can be out there. He's getting run all over the place. He couldn't move. For some reason, against Boston, just 2 days ago, he looked like he couldn't move. And now 2 days later, I see him playing defense and moving, even though I still think at this point, what Andre Drummond did for us, Joel Embiid can't do yet. But I am on the train of letting him ramp up. And, again, seeing Joel Euro step, put all his weight on his left knee, and be totally fine is amazing. And I'm excited because I think he's healthy. I think he just needs to get his conditioning back and get into game shape. But Joel Embiid is ready to not have a minutes restriction. Nick Nurse said he has no idea that was his 300th win. Do coaches really care about stats like that? Like, what's he gonna throw a party? This is Kyle Neubeck's recap. Sixers Adam, a ton of observations. Joel Embiid finds force and it pays off. Quentin Grimes, stellar night. Justin Edwards. Okay, that's an article. Maybe that's it. Cannot overstate Andre Drummond's second half here has been fantastic. Andre Drummond was amazing. And I think that's all the Twitter beat reporter takes for now. But I ran the show right to about an hour anyway. So thank you guys so much for coming through, man. Thank you for hanging out. 586 still in here. Please hit the like button for me. Give me 1,000 likes on this stream. If you're listening back, hit the like button. Let's get 1,000 likes. If you enjoy these post-game shows, please subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed so you don't miss any of them. Go listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify in audio form on your way to work in the morning. You can listen to this whole show back. And on Apple Podcasts, we are trending up. We're number 3 right now when you type in Sixers on Apple Podcasts. With your help, anyone listening to this right now, whether you're listening live, whether you're listening back to it, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify in your car, with your help, Run It Back Philly can be the number 1 Sixers podcast on the planet. All I need you to do is go to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star review. And I will read your review on the show. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Sixers are 2-0.